Writing postcards opened the door to my growing political engagement. I write postcards for local, state, and federal elections. During this pandemic, postcarding is even more effective in reaching voters when door-to-door canvassing will be limited. When elections can be won by one vote, one postcard may make that difference.
And I've seen how amazing postcards can be. I was able to get a bunch of my friends and neighbors who are progressive but who don't usually get super involved in volunteering in politics. They all got really excited to come and write postcards with me, and we did hundreds of postcards that got sent out to voters in my precinct. And then when I later went out canvassing to get out the vote in November, I would knock on doors, and probably 5 or more times somebody would answer the door and say, "Hey, did you guys send the postcards?" They had it on their fridge or they were ready to bring it to the polls.
I know that handwritten postcards work because I've been at the polls handing out sample ballots, and people have come up to me and shown me the postcards that they got in the mail.
The reason that I write postcards is it gives me something tangible that I can do to be part of the process, to address the issues that I care about, and I just feel connected to the people that I'm writing the postcards to, that we're all in this together and we've got to get out the vote. So it gives me a way to tangibly do something hands and feet for the values that I care about. And today I'm postcard writing with my daughter.
Back in 2017, 25 of us got together at a coffee shop and decided there was something we had to do to get you-know-who out of the White House. And so we began weekly meetings, writing cards for, at that time, Virginia candidates, and we ultimately expanded to almost a group of 125.
Flipping Virginia blue last year was so fun. We wrote nearly 40,000 postcards all over Virginia, we being like 300 friends working from a coffee shop, and it was just very satisfying.
I am a believer in writing postcards for political campaigns. In February, I invited 20 friends and neighbors over for an evening party, enticed them with a little wine. 19 people out of the 20 came. We wrote on 2,000 postcards, and since then, since the pandemic and quarantining, we've been handing out packets. People are eager to make a difference.
Writing postcards to voters in the era of Trump has always been therapy.
Okay. Even though we are no longer meeting, we still meet every Friday morning on our Zoom call, and it still generates the kind of enthusiasm that we're used to.
I've recently been described as a late life activist. Now, I'm not sure about that description, but I can guarantee you in every interaction with a potential voter, I make sure they hear our message, which is to register to vote, study the issues, and vote. And yeah, I write postcards.
I really like how bright, positive, and charming our postcards are. A handwritten, envelope-free card will catch the eye better than junk mail.
But before COVID, we met in a public place. We were at Starbucks. And I loved that for those 3 years, there were thousands of people that saw us engaging in civic action. Civic action is mostly hidden in the United States, except for when we vote. If we're voting in person, maybe we belong to a grassroots group, but often you just don't see it.
Last year, our group wrote nearly 12,000 postcards. That alone is remarkable, but it's not the best part. What is amazing is how we encouraged our network of wonderful volunteers to be brave and take that next step. We broke down all barriers to volunteering by meeting their needs so they could engage. In 2019, our group volunteered to babysit for free so people could door knock and phone bank and text bank. Our Postcards and Politics group sent almost 100 volunteers to work the polls in March, with about 80 of those being first-timers. We have recruited 5 precinct captains from our group. Prior to 2019, 3/4 of our group had never volunteered before writing postcards. We are building a family of lifelong activists through the power of postcards. Thanks so much. Now get to writing.